we're going to be talking about today. So y'all come on in. Please make sure to invite your followers and know that there is a word, a prophetic release on today just for you. So let's go ahead. Let's get tuned in. Let's get locked in. If it's your first time with us, with me, let me know. I'm excited to know if we have any first time people coming on and where you're at. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Pray everyone is having an amazing Monday. It's the start of the week, y'all. This is what I call like, okay, God, give me a word, give me some encouragement, give me a release so that I could get this week rolling, right mindset, being empowered the right way. So yes. Hey, Rashania, thank you. I'm so excited that you're tuning in. Thank you. Where are you at? Where are you out of, Rashania? Let me know that. Thank you to everyone that's coming in. There's a prophetic release for you today. I hope y'all ready. God is speaking. He is empowering his people like never before. He's reminding us of promises. If this is your first time following me, I am Prophetess Trish Morissette, CEO, visionary of Trish M Ministries, which is under Trish M Enterprises. I am an executive pastor serving alongside my fabulous husband, Senior Pastor Derek Morissette at Mind of Christ International, right here in Alabaster, Alabama. Rashania, you're not too far from us in Georgia. We're right outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Is where we're at. Our church is in Alabaster, Alabama, where we pastor and shepherd God's people. Hey, let's see, no more flesh. Hey, thank you so much for coming in. I am live right now on Facebook. I'm live on Periscope. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll give you just a couple of church announcements before I get in this word. Y'all know I give y'all about 10, 15 minutes tops, and then I'm out of here. So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and remember to invite your friends, invite your followers, and let them know it's Prophetic Monday. It's on and popping. God is releasing a word to encourage us and to get us to this next level. All right. So church announcements, Academy of Prophetic People, where you at? I don't know if any people in the Academy are on right now, but if you've not joined the Academy for Prophetic People, then what are you waiting on? Y'all need to join us. You know you gifted, anointed, called, chosen. You just need somebody to cultivate that prophetic anointing on the inside of you. I invite you to join us at joinappnow.com. It's only $39. It's an investment into you and your next level. We got hundreds of hours of trainings in the prophetic. Oh my goodness. You get to choose each month what classes you want to take, what classes you want to study. There's virtual workbooks that come with each class. We're getting ready to have a major class going on. Hey, Vanessa, so glad you're tuning in. She's in the Academy with us. So glad you're tuning in today. Y'all don't forget, we got a live major class going on in the Academy on Thursday. So all my Academy people, my APP people, shouting you out right now. Make sure to tune in live in our private secret group on Facebook. We got a major class going on live on Thursday. So make sure y'all are tuned in. All right. So yeah. You know, my life is all things prophetic. I love cultivating God's chosen people, his prophetic vessels, his mouthpieces, whether you're a prophet or whether you're just gifted in the prophetic and want to know more. I'd love to connect with you. And listen, I got a prophetic seminar coming on. Me and Prophetess Tanikia Hill. Let me be proper. Prophetess Tanikia Hill and I. We will have a prophetic seminar. Listen, I hope y'all have seen it. The prophetic promises of the latter rain. This is going to be deep. It is going to be a deep seminar. Teaching is private. It's a $10 registration fee to hold your spot. June 24th or 25th, I believe, we're going to go live at 8:30 p.m. on a private webinar. And if you're registered, you'll get the registration details. If you register, you say, I can't get on, but I still want to get the recording. Don't worry, we'll send that to you. But just want to shout out the prophetic seminar presented by the Academy of Prophetic People. If you've not registered for that, go to trishmnow.com. trishmnow.com. If someone's watching me, you could type those addresses in for me. That would be great. trishmnow.com. $10 for the prophetic seminar with myself and Prophetess Tanikia Hill. And if you're ready to join the Academy, $39, y'all. It's awesome. God is up to some big things. Okay, so those are your church announcements. I'm getting ready to release something to you. I was meditating on what God wanted me to say and give y'all for this week for your Prophetic Monday. I hope you're ready, okay? Because this is for someone. I don't know if this is for if it's you or not. If it is for you, say, Prophetess, you talking to me? It's me. It's me. It's me. Give the word of confirmation. But as I was meditating, God gave me. He said, "Let them know." He said, "Don't stop fighting for your blessings." Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Don't stop fighting for your blessings, okay? Don't stop fighting for your blessings, because I see, and God was showing me, we're halfway, like literally almost at the halfway point of this new year of 2019, and we're going into the latter part of it. That's why we're going to be talking about the latter. Y'all make sure y'all get on that prophetic seminar. Prophetess Tanika and Hill and I are going to be talking about the latter rain that's coming this year. Oh, this is going to be so deep. We're going to be talking about the latter rain that's coming on this prophetic seminar. But make sure y'all listen to me. You're halfway through the first point. And there are some things that you're still believing God for. There are some things that are still in motion. There are things that are still happening and happening now. And you're in this process. And some of us are in an in-between place. All right. So I'm talking to some people who are in an in-between place. And there are things that are happening and that are happening. And some things are happening slow. Some things are kind of, I don't really know what's going on. But God told me to tell you, don't stop fighting for your blessings. Now, fighting meaning putting yourself in a position for victory. I'm going to say that again. Don't stop putting yourself in a position for victory of what God has for you. Listen, even though things are slow, even though you may not have all the support, all the money, all the people, all whatever it is, God said, don't stop fighting. He gave me this scripture, and I'm going to give you several things. He said in Hebrews 10:23, let us hold fast the confession of hope without wavering. Oh my goodness. He said, hold fast that confession of hope without wavering. He said, for he who promised is faithful. You got to tell yourself that God gave you something. He showed you something. And he who showed you this thing, he who put that, you see, a lot of times we think, oh, well, maybe that wasn't God. God said, no, it was me. I gave it to you. He said, let them know that I am faithful in what I gave you. I am faithful in the confirmation and the affirmation of whatever it is that you're called to do. He said, I am faithful. He said, though the process may be a little trying, he said, know that I am faithful. And I got on here the other day and I said, some of us are making God so bipolar, like God can give you something. And it's exciting when he gives it to you. You're like, oh my gosh, God gave me this. I see this happening. I see me doing this. I see, God give you something. And then all of a sudden things are going slower. Things not happening fast. And all of a sudden, you know what, God, God told me to move on. Wait a second. You didn't even give God a chance to manifest what he told you. He said, hold fast the confession of your hope without wavering. He said, for he who promised it is faithful. I'm going to say that again. He who promised it is faithful, and you cannot stop fighting. You cannot stop putting yourself in a position for manifestation. You cannot stop. God said, I am faithful, but it's you that's getting weary. He said, tell them there are some on here that are getting a little weary. We are halfway through the year. They still ain't got that husband, still ain't got that wife. Their business still ain't where it needs to be. Their things are not where they want it to be. And he said, they're still like halfway through and they're like, okay, I'm getting tired. I'm getting a little frustrated. Such and such getting on my nerves. I don't, another overdraft in my bank account. Really, God, he said, tell them, stop getting weary in the well-doing, because I am faithful to the end. He said, but ask them a question. Will you be faithful to the end? Or will you turn your back and act like I never said what I said? He said, I said what I said. Are you going to do what you're called to do? Listen now, okay? Listen. God said what he said. Or some of you, he didn't even necessarily speak it. It's like he put an unction in your spirit. You know how you have this unction, like God gave you something. It's like, oh my God, I really can do that. Oh, maybe I need to be considering this, or I need to be doing that. God said a lot of times, he said, I speak in mysterious ways. He said, I can come, I could give you a thought. I could give you an idea. You could see something on TV and you could see yourself doing it. He said, I can speak in a whole whole bunch of ways. You don't have to hear my audible voice or nothing like that. He said, but what I gave you, he said, I said what I said, and I'm not gonna, he said, I gave you what I gave you. I'm not gonna forget what I gave you, but you will, because you're getting weary in your well doing. He said, yeah, you're halfway through the year and you still ain't got all that you believe me for. He said, but I am not a God that I should lie. I'm not a man that I should lie. No, what is the scripture? I am not a man that I should not lie. Or the man, and when he said, because when I speak, I act, in every promise I fulfill. That scripture is not coming to me completely, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He said, I am not a man that I should lie. I'm not lying to you. When I give you something, when I make you a promise, when I show you the future of what you could be doing or where you could be, he said, I will make good on it. He said, the problem is that you won't make good on it because you won't trust me long enough so that I can show you that I'm a mighty good God and that I will do what I say I'm going to do. He said, hold fast the confession of your hope. He said, for he who promised, I who showed you, I who gave you the idea, I who gave you the thought, I who gave you the vision, I'm going to make good. I'm going to make good on my promise. He said, what's the scripture? I can do all things. He said, remind them that they could do it, but they can't do it in their own strength. Their faith has to be in me. Their trust has to be in me. Their reliance has to be in me. They cannot do it in their own strength. They have to give it to me and they have to trust me. He said, listen, y'all, he said, and he said, hear me by faith. He said that some of y'all, and you can figure it out if this is you or not. He says, some of y'all are acting like the modern day Israelites. He said, when I was taking them out of Egypt, I was taking them to the promised land. He said, I was telling them, listen, I gave them a vision. I gave them an idea. I gave them a plan. I whispered in their ear. I showed them a new level. But I also told them that in order for you to get it, you got to go from point A to B to C to D to E. He said, it wasn't like an instant manifestation. He said, some of you are walking in a wilderness and are getting frustrated because the milk and honey is not flowing fast enough. He said, but I need you to walk into the wilderness with your head up high. I need you to walk into the wilderness declaring and decreeing that you know who you are. You know the God that you serve. You know that blessings are at hand. You know that breakthrough is at hand. You know your husband is on the way. You know your business is growing. You know you're going worldwide. You know you're nationwide. You know the book is written. You know, I mean, come on, somebody, y'all fill in the blank. He said, you got to walk through the wilderness like you in the promised land. He said, don't walk through the wilderness like you in the wilderness. He said, you got to walk through the wilderness like you in the promise already. He said, you know what that's called? He said, you ain't crazy when you do it. He said, that's called faith. That's called holding on to the hope and knowing that I'm going to make good on the hope that I gave you. He said, because it's not your hope anyway. It's my hope. Where you thought you got the hope from anyway? Where you thought you got the vision from anyway? Where you thought this plan just magically appeared out of nowhere and this idea, it just magically appeared out of nowhere? He said, I am a God that cannot lie. He said, I make good on promises, but will you make good when you walk through the wilderness? Will you make good and act like you in the promise already? Because when you make good on that, he said, then I can make good on what I told you. Don't walk through the wilderness like you in the wilderness. It's eating, and then he just gave me, he's like, don't walk. He said, you know how people be like, they fast and they like, they so hungry and they got to let everybody know they hungry and they tired and they fasting. He said, don't act like you fasting. Don't look like you fasting. Don't look like you got lack. Don't look like you waiting on the next big thing to happen. He said, act like it's already there. Act like it's in the palm of your hands. Act like you chewing on grapes as big as I don't know what. He said, but the problem is the mentality is that we don't act like we already have what we say. We act like we broke, busted, and disgusted. We act like we tired of being single. We act like, oh my God, my marriage is a mess. We act like it, but you got to act like the promise of what you want, not act like the promise of the manifestation of what you see. There is a big difference. He said, listen, don't be like the modern day children of Israel. He said, because I told them what I was going to do. And he said, and some of them couldn't handle what I was going to do in the time that I was going to do it. And so they missed the manifestation of what I told them I was going to do because they couldn't handle the in-between place and the process. They walked through the wilderness like they were in the wilderness. They didn't walk through the wilderness like they knew breakthrough was next door. So this is what he said. He said, tell them in Isaiah 41:10, don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. For somebody that's fearing about their marriage right now, somebody is fearing about their finances right now. He said, tell them, don't be afraid, for I am with you. If you just do what I told you to do, if you just go through the promise, go through the process like you already in the promise, he said, you're going to fool every devil that's been attacking you. They're going to be like, well, we don't need to attack. Like, we've been attacking, but it ain't working. And so they're going to see that the attacks that they were doing to come against your family, your finances, your marriage, whatever it is, the attacks that them demons was doing, it ain't working no more because you was acting like it was working before. But now you acting like nothing that the devil will ever do to you will bring you to a low place because you know the promises that God has for you. And so now, instead of acting like them demons bothering you, you acting like the promise is already here. You acting like the manifestation is already here. You acting like the glory is already here. Nothing, no devil in hell will be able to stop the promises of God. Let me go back and look at the children of Israel. The children, there were no demons that stopped their promise of a land flowing with milk and honey. The only people that stopped the promise was the children of Israel. If you look back, they stopped it because their faith, they got tired. They got weary. They started to complain. They complained about everything. You complaining about your marriage. You complaining about your children. You complaining about your husband. You complaining about your job. You just starting to complain about everything. It wasn't demons that stopped the children of Israel. It was them. He said, don't be the modern day children of Israel and you complaining about everything and holding your head low about everything and not walking in faith and rejoicing in that you don't even see yet. Come on, somebody. Somebody need to have a praise party over something that you don't even see. God then told you you're a millionaire. You don't even see it in the bank, but you can rejoice like you got it right here, right now. That's called crazy faith. He said so many of y'all don't have, you can talk like you got crazy faith, but the process where you out, that you look like you crazy instead of having crazy faith. Come on, somebody. God is saying the turnaround is here. He said, I will make good on what I said, but the problem ain't with me. The problem has always been with you. The problem is not with God. His timing is always perfect. He said, but the problem has always been with you. So don't be afraid. He said, the Lord is a shelter for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you. For you, O Lord, do not abandon those who search for you. And here's another question he gave me. He said, while you're going through the hardest time in your life right now, while you're going through a struggle, it may not even be the biggest struggle, but while you're going through a struggle, he said, ask them, how many of you are searching for me in the trouble? How many of you are declaring me in the trouble? How many are you walking around with your head held high, knowing that I am in the midst of the trouble? See, I gotta close this out, but this is good. God is still speaking. But let me tell you this, and I'm gonna keep flowing as long as God. Y'all just hang in there because God is just really downloading stuff in my spirit. He said, when the men at the pool of Bethesda, he said he couldn't get his healing, his deliverance, and his breakthrough unless there was a troubling in the water. Come on, somebody. The healing and the breakthrough and the deliverance couldn't come unless there was a manifestation of the trouble. God is allowing a manifestation of the trouble in your marriage, in your finances, in your mind, in your health. And he's like, well, I mean, they don't have no man to put me in when the trouble happens. God said, you don't need a man to put you in. He said, you just got to put yourself in. Instead of being in the trouble, you trying to run from the trouble and say, I'm done. I'm good. This is just deep too much. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. God said, don't you know that the miracle happened when the trouble manifested, when the angel troubled the water? That was the only way that the man was going to be able to get healed. He said, but y'all scared of a little trouble. Y'all crying because of a little trouble. And y'all not declaring God in the trouble. Who will declare God in the midst of the trouble? And the scripture said, do not, he said, the Lord is a shelter for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Those who know your name, trust in you. For you, O Lord, do not abandon those who search for me, search for you. He said, but the problem is in the midst of the trouble, instead of searching from me, you hide from me. And he said, and I'm walking in the garden in the cool of the day, wondering where is my Abraham? Where is my Adam? Where is my Eve? Where is my Trish? Where is my Sarah? He said, I'm walking in the cool of the day because some trouble that hit Adam and Eve, some trouble that hit your house, some trouble that hit your finances. And he said, no, I gotta go and I search for you. Why? Because you ain't searching for me. You're running from me. You're not searching for me. He said, you're running from me. And why do I say you're running from me? Because your faith will search for me. But when you become afraid and fearful, fear will make you run from me. Faith will make you run to me. Fear will make you run from me. Oh, come on, somebody. Fear will make you run slap into the hands of the enemy, but faith will make you run straight to me. And so when I realize that you're walking in something that is not of me, when I realize that you're a little frustrated, when I realize that you done let the enemy deceive you and take over your house, take over your mind, take over your body. Now I got to come and search for you because my Adam and my Eve, they had a little trouble come their way. And now they hiding from me instead of searching for me. And so I'm running it. I'm walking in the garden wondering where you at, but I already know where you at. You over there running from the trouble when I'm in the midst of your trouble, when I'm in the midst of your healing, when I'm in the midst of your breakthrough, when I'm in the midst of your deliverance, you running from it. Because, it's too much. I ain't got time for that no more. I'm done. I'm done. But God is saying, you got to fight. The name of this was don't stop fighting for your blessing. You easily give it to the devil instead of giving it to God. You easily let him win. Oh, well, I can't do this no more. I'm just going to go back to my job. I'm just going to file for this divorce. I'm just going to let these children do what they want to do. Cause, you know what? I'm halfway through this year and ain't nothing changed. We still going through the same old thing. We still dealing with the same issue. I'm tired. And instead of running to God, I'm going to run from God and I'm going to help him out because let me tell you, this ain't working. God says, stop. Don't stop fighting for your blessing. Some of you are fighting for the wrong thing. You're fighting for the wrong thing, and it ain't got nothing to do with your blessing. You're fighting for your attitude because you got something to prove. You're fighting for your pride because you just don't want people to see you vulnerable. You're fighting. You're fighting the wrong thing. But God said what you need to be fighting for is your next level. You need to be fighting for your blessing. You need to be fighting for your house. Fight for your children. Fight for your well-being. Some of y'all been depressed for too long. You've been sad for too long. And you letting the devil, you playing into the hands of the devil. And God said, what? He ain't on your team. Why you acting like he on your team? He's the one that got you in this position anyway. Okay? Fight for your blessing. I don't know. God just had stirred that up in me. He was like, we halfway through the year. And he said, I need you to tell some people some stuff because they need to hear this. So I don't know who it was for, but I pray that it ministered, because that's the whole point. It needs to minister to you. It needs to bring change. It needs to help you. It needs to cultivate you. It needs to send you in the right direction because halfway through this year, you going in the wrong direction. You giving up on the very thing that God gave you. You letting the devil steal it. And sometimes it ain't even the devil, it's you and your pride. Children of Israel, go back to them. It wasn't the devil or demons that took away the promise. It was them and their attitude. Don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. So I hope this helps somebody. I think I went over a little overtime, but I pray that this helps somebody. If you know somebody that needs to hear this, please share it with them. Please share, and say, listen, you need to hear this. I needed to hear it. You need to hear it too. All right. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and giving me your time. And I'm just speaking blessings, bountiful blessings. I'm speaking breakthrough that you will receive, that you will get everything that you have, that God has for you. And you will not quit. You will not stop fighting because it's yours. I declare that it is yours. Whatever God promised you, it's yours. You got to walk. You got to walk like you've already got it. You're in the wilderness, but you got to walk like you're in the promised land. You're in the wilderness, but you got to walk like you're in the promised land. I'm going to say that again. Somebody need to tweet this. You're in the wilderness, but you got to walk like you in the promise. All right? Love y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing day. All right? Make sure to share this. Okay? I'm going to end on that note. You're in the wilderness, but walk like you're in the promise.